This is KC3FOW. I have built a Zumspot Libre.
N6YN K3NXU. Hey there.
We have some activity going on. I've got a DMR MD380 as well. Notice the Zumspot Libre is scanning, and this board is a daughterboard kit from Bruce Given, a great guy, and it has a radio that you solder on, some resistors, some LEDs, and some headers, and basically there's a microcontroller. This one came with a ST-Link version 2. That is to interface your ST-Link microcontroller to a computer instead of, like a Windows PC, instead of a Raspberry Pi. But in the context of this video, you'll need a Raspberry Pi 3. Probably some way to talk to a monitor, which is an HDMI to VGA cable, or however you want to talk to your monitor or TV, and a power cable for the Pi, some sort of a keyboard mouse interface to the Pi, and a USB to a micro USB adapter. So we're going to get started. I have my daughter helping me video. She's a wonderful little kid that's interested in ham radios, so she's learning, and hopefully you'll appreciate the video of the build. I also have an image that's for the Raspberry Pi that I made that I'm going to post on the internet. It has two icons, one to start and one to stop the MMDVM host, and away it goes. So you can see that this device is for specifically different modes of digital radios that you can use to talk directly to it, and it's a hotspot, so you can, as long as you got the internet connected to the Pi, however that be, wireless or wired, whatever, you can talk to the internet, and you've got power to those devices. You can use your radio, and it's a UHF and or 800 megahertz radio on this thing, so that's one of the requirements. I don't know if they're going to come out with a VHF version or not, but at any rate, what we have is a hotspot. So this hotspot is pretty nice, and you can edit the MMDVM that I have on the image and change the parameters to your own DMR ID and some of the other information about yourself. And off to the races you'll be with DMR, Yaesu System Fusion, P25, or D-Star. So without further ado, we'll go into the rest of the build video.
Yeah, this is a kit from Bruce Given. It's called the Zumspot, and it consists of some LEDs. Looks like orange, yellow, red. I don't know if that's pink or purple. W for white, probably. B for blue, and G for green, and some 1.5K resistors, some headers, the STM controller board, which is awesome. They call it the blue pill. Don't take the red pill, take the blue pill. And this is the Zum interface. This is the whole thing that ties together the PC board. Here's the radio. It'll do UHF and 800 megahertz ranges. An antenna. This is a USB wireless and the cabling for it. So what we're going to do here today, we're going to put this all together and start soldering. Okay, so this is the instructions, and as they read, shows you, it gives you a little layout of what you've got, your headers, and it's telling you in no particular order you're going to put this thing together. Install your LEDs. Cathode short leg is on top, and the next page for LED locations and names. Not sure what colors or what, doesn't matter, I guess, but any rate, then install the 1.5K resistors, solder the 2 rows of carrier strips to the STM32F103 board. That's this board down here. So what I've done is I've just placed them long side up, and it's the upside down of the board,
and that's what's going to plug into here. So I'm going to turn these over and solder each and every one of those. Okay, I have the Zum adapter board, and I've got some kids putty. It's stuff you buy at the dollar store. It's got like a little trick I do to line things up just to get things started. Then I'll put my carrier board, my blue pill if you will, on top of that, and then I'll tack the first couple pins on the corners, and then I'll take the putty off and do the sides as well, and then we'll have a nice platform to solder on. Okay, watch me solder. Mm-hmm. Okay, get a good nice close-up. Are you videoing now? Mm-hmm. Okay, here's my first solder joint. Second one.
What do you mostly do when you solder stuff?
Well, I'm soldering a board together. So here's another piece here. We'll do the second side over here.
It smells weird.
And the third side. I'm sorry, the fourth one, fourth edge. Okay, now I'm going to do the middle here just so that it doesn't get all out of whack. And the middle over here. Away from the chip a little bit. Alright, so now we've got it stable. I'm going to take this off the putty and get rid of that off of there. Now we have a perfect job, and I'm going to solder this bottom piece in, and we'll turn it upside down here and just kind of solder that in.
Use the putty? Can you read that?
Yeah, we could just use that putty to steady things maybe a little bit better, I think. So there's that. And I'm going to clean my tip a little bit. There we go. Excuse me. These four. Okay. So now what we have is a board. See, this putty is pretty useful actually. It's just a little trick. At any rate, I'll go through and I'll solder the rest of these, and then we'll begin doing the other LEDs. Okay, as you can see, I've got the blue pill soldered in, and the matrix will now begin. So the Zumspot is partially done. Are you recording? Okay. There's a part that we have to solder before we put the next piece on. It's right there. My daughter's helping me video. And we're going to jumper these two together with a glob of solder. Okay. Okay. Here's this pad we have to bridge together. And if I would actually turn my soldering iron on, I'll be alright. So you can pause it for a second.
He's soldering the two pieces.
Okay, if you can see that, I've bridged those two pads. Not too hard to do. There we go. Next step is the radio.
My dad
We're going to put that in here. So let's see. There we go. And you think there should be something underneath that right there to steady that up, but there isn't. I think what I'm going to do is try to pull standoff or something and put something in between there to make it a little bit more solid. Okay, I found that there's no standoff in between, so I've modified a computer standoff to fit this. I wish I had two of them. I don't have two of them, but I'm going to use some hot glue on this other side. I just wanted to make a nicer, neater job, but I want to protect the pins and the lands and everything on this board because I'm kind of a freak that way, but yeah, it should look good. Now I'm going to solder this piece in place, turn this thing upside down, and get her all soldered up. So next. Alright, now we're going to install the LEDs, and I didn't really show any color schemes, so I guess it doesn't matter. I like blue. You're taking the blue pill of using DMR. We're going to put the blue in there, and notice the short leg of the LED is going to be facing top. We're going to shove that in there all the way through almost, and then we're going to hold that with some putty and just solder that bad boy on in. So hopefully we can get her to cooperate here. Get a little putty going on there. Yeah, okay, so there's that, and we'll just solder this thing in. Okay, there's our first LED Triumph. That is blue. Clip those off.
Ow.
I hit you. And there's our putty hole. Okay, we'll continue on with the rest of the colors, and you can choose whatever colors you darn well please. Alright, now we've got all the LEDs soldered. I picked some random colors.
I need to focus this.
We'll find that out. All nice and neat by the help of our good buddy putty. Put that on the other side and turn it upside down and solder the bad boy. Okay, next comes the resistors. They're all the same values. Going to solder every one of them in. So, okay.
So my dad's gonna be putting these in.
Resistors in.
Resistors.
And there we go. We're putting one in there. Like my nice dirty fingernails from changing car rotors.
Yeah.
Could never get them clean, but gotta get a brush and some
From the brakes
solvent.
of our car.
Yeah, fixing their brakes. Yeah, we do everything, don't we? Okay.
Last one. Wait, no, there's one more right here.
One more 1.5K resistor.
One more.
Yeah.
These. That.
Yeah, thank you, Pearl.
You have a bunch more of these LED lights.
They're extra in case you want to light up your world. So there's that. And there's that. So now we have all these, whoopsie, these babies here. And where's my putty at?
Putty
I
right
keep
here.
that stuff all, keep them all nice and flat so they look beautiful.
Here's his
Just kind of,
cutting tool.
yeah, we ain't going to
Put
use that
metal.
yet. So we'll put them down there like that so that they stay nice and taut on the other side. You don't have to worry about them moving around too much.
It's gonna
And
solder
just
it.
solder one side in for each one.
I'm using my brother's flip-flops to lock in here because it's so dirty. It's nice. I know when you're soldering it so it stays on the thing. It doesn't fall
right.
out.
That's right. Okay. Put that on pause.
Now he's going to solder the other ones.
Solder the other side. Clean my tip here. Get it nice and clean. Get a little bit of shout there.
See, there's smoke coming out.
Smoke on the water.
Solder.
There we go. Now we'll clip them and I'll hit you with these pieces.
Don't.
Okay.
Jeez.
Now we should have a nice looking stuff here.
There's my putty.
Check it out.
Oh, this putty's so warm.
Okay, well, it's taking up the heat. Alright, now we've got to read the rest of the instructions, but we've got it mostly assembled. Okay, step number 1, you're going to make sure you have a Raspberry Pi 3. Step number 2, you're going to make sure you have a micro USB to USB standard adapter cable that's going to plug into the Zumspot, into the blue pill, what they call that. And then you're going to have a 32 gigabyte micro SD card with adapter that you can shove into the side of the laptop or desktop, whatever. And then you have some utilities that you're going to need. Number 1 utility is the disk imaging software. You're going to download an image from the description in this video. It's going to be a zip file. You open that zip file up, it will extract to another file called zumlib.img. You're going to open that file with this program right here. This is called Win32 Disk Imager. And you're going to pick that image wherever it may be sitting at. You'll have to pick this folder and find the file that you've extracted. Remember where you've extracted it at. I have one on here. It's in the image directory, and it's going to say a disk image file. When you extract it, pick it, and then you'll pick the device that you've got the SD card mounted on. So when you plug that SD card in, you'll get DEF, whatever the drive is. Pick that, then you're going to hit write. That'll take a while. That'll write your card. You can take that little card out, separate the micro HD card, and throw it in the Pi. Make sure the Pi is connected to the internet via cable or Wi-Fi, however you do it. Then you're going to, once you've gotten to your Pi, you're going to do a IF config. Let's see here. I'm remote controlling my Pi, and I'll show you how I'm doing that from my laptop. So here we go. It tells me here's the IP address of the Pi. So basically, you know that because you plug the keyboard and mouse into your Pi, and you're looking at that right now. I'm remoting mine. Then at some point you might want to do it remotely like I'm doing here, control everything from one machine. And to do the remote control, you can use a program called VNC Viewer. So get out of this, and I go into VNC Viewer. You can add a host, put the IP address that you've listed, and sign into that host. And the username is Pi, and the password's Raspberry. Pretty simple. And there, now you're into the Pi, and you're ready to. If you've got your Zum Libre hooked up, you're now ready to expand the file system on the Pi, because the Pi has the card that you've got in there isn't fully expanded. So it's the command to do that. You go into terminal here, you launch terminal. Here's the terminal is under here, right here. That launches this screen right here to get your terminal screen. And you can do a sudo raspi-config. Okay, so we've got the sudo raspi config, and we're going to hit enter on that, and we get this nice little thing here. And
I think it's under advanced options. I'm going to look here. Yeah, and there it is. Advanced options and expand file system. So if you hit enter, you want to expand the file system, and then bingo. It's not showing here, but it did do its thing. I probably have to minimize this or refresh something going on here because I'm not seeing it. It's kind of not responding on my remote session here, so I'm just going to hit OK at that and then finish. I know you can't see this. I'm on the Pi right now, so trying to tab over to finish and do my thing. Here we go. It's finally rendering. I don't know why it was slow, but we'll click into here and we'll hit our tab and we'll hit enter and away we go. And we'll say, yes, I would like to reboot. Thank you very much. And the Pi is now rebooting, and all 32 gig is now usable by the file system on that Pi. And so it's rebooting right now, and I'm going to pause the video here and wait till that comes up. Okay, the Pi is booted. I'm back into my VNC viewer, so now I can do everything and show you on the screen here. The first thing you want to actually do is edit your MMDVM ini file, and it's done through this. Hit this, go to Zumspot and edit your MMDVM.ini file. And here my call sign is this. You put your call sign in, whatever it should be, and you can change your frequency, but what will happen is it's going to change the frequency of the radio too. And I recommend you just start out with 434, and you can experiment with frequencies if you want, fool around a little bit. Change your location. Change this to your QRZ page. I would put my QRZ link in here, and then go down, and there's some other things in here that you should edit. Let's see. Right here are some offsets in this section here under the modem. Transmit offset and receive offset. And that pertains to the quality of your MMDVMs, your blue pill and your radio, everything that's connected, that there may be some deviation on the signal from your radio to that, or that to your radio. So if you start hearing a lot of goat bleeps and things like that with the DMR, where it's, you know, stuttering and pausing and things like that, you can adjust that slowly by levels of, I would say, 50. You can start with the RX offset and the TX offset. These are the two tweaking items that you can modify to improve the quality of your audio. Okay, and also down here, you scroll down. The important part here also is your DMR ID. If you haven't applied for a DMR ID from the DMR website, get yourself one, and also go into Brandmeister and sign up with those guys as well. You know, it's a good thing to be registered with all of them. This is the color code that when you're programming your radio, whatever you set your color code at for this channel, you know, leave the rest of this stuff pretty well go. Just make sure you have your DMR ID in here. I don't have mine showing because I didn't really want to put it in the video. And that's about it. There is a section of connection. If you are in the East Coast, you probably put the east.brandmeister.us. For right now, I'm on the East Coast, but I've been having good luck with this one, central brandmeister.us connection point. The password, I think, stays the same. You don't have to monkey with that. That's the password for Brandmeister. And I have slot 1 and 2 enabled. If you have one of those cheap Baofungs that is not really a tier 2 level radio,
it broadcasts on both slots, so it's important to know that, and probably want to disable one of the slots, so if you want to use that device to talk, you could, and it won't bother slot 2. So now you have everything set up, and you're going to save this file, and you can start your MMDVM software. Now I don't have my stuff in here, but I'm going to key it all in, and then I'm going to give you a demonstration. Basically, once that's saved, this is taking a slow time to render. I don't know why VNC's being this way, but there are 2 icons that I have prepared for you. The one is the MMDVM start and MMDVM stop. When you launch MMDVM start, it's going to launch MMDVM with the settings that you set up in the ini file. And if you got connection to the Brandmeister network and your DMR ID is right and all your stuff is right in that MMDVM file, it's going to start up, and provided your radio's programmed for the frequency that you had set and the color code, and you have the channels in there, you're on DMR, and you'll be able to see live on the MMDVM software as it's going. So I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to key in all my stuff. Then I'm going to continue to show you the rest of the way.
Okay, I just want to show you, when you ignite the Raspberry Pi with power and you have it plugged into the monitor and it's getting an IP address and it's hooked up through this USB to the micro USB into the blue pill, this is what you see. Just hardly nothing. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to, after you've edited that MMDVM ini file, which I've kind of, this is the ghetto version of screen capture, but I'm going to launch the MMDVM software. Let me get down here. Double click the icon down here. It looks like a radio. And now you start to see things scroll. And here we go. I'm going to pick up a contact. I have a contact programmed in. It's called Echo Private, and it's using the Echo it's called a parrot channel. So here we go. This is KC3FOW, KC3FOW testing, KC3FOW testing. And here we come back. Hopefully.
FOW testing, KC3FOW testing.
Okay, so you can see I have a little bit of tweaking to do, but basically that's the deal. And you see it polling here. When I key up my radio, again, I'm going to do it again. Contacts. Here we go. This is KC3FOW. This is KC3FOW. And I let go of the thing. Here it comes back at me.
This is KC3FOW. This is KC3FOW.
Okay. So I have a little bit of tuning to do with the probably the transmit offset or the receive offset. Maybe tweak it by 50 each time and restart and see if I can get the audio quality perfected. But there you have it. It's got the old Knight Rider look to it. It's pulling through the different modes and it's functioning. And what you can see when you're doing anything on the radio is you'll see things streaming by on your screen. So we'll do it one more time, just give you that experience. And here we go. This is KC3FOW, KC3FOW.
This is KC3FOW, KC3FOW.
It had a little bit of goat bleating there, but yeah, it just has a little bit more audio quality to work out. And I think possibly could be my connection here with the internet. It's just going kind of a funky way, but any rate, it's working, and I just wanted to give you that. So there you have it.